Hello, hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I just watched the video that Naya did about our shared experience, and I thought I would do one about mine. I'm not going to explain anything much. I'm just going to tell you what happened, mostly because it was so much. It's going to take me weeks to unravel everything that happened to me at the front. But the last part is the part with Naya. Okay, so Naya and I had just a wonderful day. We went to the beach first thing in the morning, and it was beautiful. And then we had our experience. Now, at first, I went inside my body. Now, we're both in the same room. I went inside my body, so I went through all my capillaries and my veins and my organs and all my cells. I went all the way into my cells, and I was just chilling and making sure that my body was okay, because my body had never had this experience before. And I have to be best friends with my body, because you have to trust your body. Okay, so I wanted to check on it. And my body was okay. I got sick maybe right off the bat. So I actually got a lot of it out immediately, which goes to what Naya was saying about you don't need near as much, in my opinion. Okay. Anyways, after I go into my body, then Naya had instructed me before she went in, because we did it at the same time, that she wanted me to go out, out. Okay. So I was on it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go out, I was excited. So she said, just when you get somewhere, and I was never scared, by the way. But she said, just when you get somewhere, instead of staying long, just go, moving on, and just kind of moving on. And so that's what I did. So I was just like, I went in my body and did my thing. So about 30 minutes in, I started moving up. I started going up and out. Okay. So I was almost like swimming. I was kind of having fun. I like to have a lot of fun, in case you haven't figured that out. Anyways, but I was determined, and I was listening. I'm a good student, Naya. I'm a good student. Anyways, so I went up, and I could see the opening, and I made a painting of it. It's a real subtle painting, but it's literally what I saw. I'll show you guys. I'll tack it on to the end of this video. Anyways, and you can see just in between where all the other colors, and I've seen them before, but I'm going out with Naya. We're having our moment. So I haven't looked for her. I don't know where she is. I'm not feeling her. I don't know anything about it. So I'm going, and all of a sudden the moon comes to me and blocks the opening and says, hey, Shell, you can't go. Naya needs you. And immediately, she talks about there's no time, and I'm going to tell y'all, it is like awesome. I love that no time thing. Anyways, okay, so immediately I make a swan boat, because I'm just very interesting. Anyways, and I'm standing in the swan boat, and I'm ready to go get her, and I'm getting ready to go. I'm actually getting ready to go like this, okay, in my perspective, where I was, because I was almost out. And the moon said, no, we just need to be here. And we need to bring in the storm. We need to bring the storm. We need to bring the storm. And the moon just kept repeating that. And I was like, yeah, we need to bring the storm. All right, I won't go get her, but I still had the boat. So I thought I would just stand on it so she could see me if she needed to, But I was like a lot of other places. I shapeshift and stuff. And I do a lot of things at once. But I was taking all my attention to her. Now the main focus was Naya's lost, and we need to help her, give her our energy. Okay. So, I stay way up there in my boat, kind of near the top. And a lot of other beings. Now, let me just go out a minute. But a couple days before she came, I started calling in the Native Americans, because we're very close. And they actually were giving me messages, and I was texting her where she was in Louisiana. Even before she came, they were connecting to her, because it was going to be real important for her, because the original natives are very important to Gaia. It's our physical forms are very important. It is. Here we are. Right? We're doing this. We're important. And our bodies are important. Gaia's body is important, celestially and physically. But let me get back into what we were doing. Anyways, so bring in the storm, bring in the storm, bring in the storm. And now I have my eyes closed, and I'm like laying in my bed, just real still. My body's comfortable now. You know, I'm okay. And I'm about an hour in. And I said, okay, I'm going to bring a storm. So immediately my physical hearing heard the crack, I mean a close crack. And I haven't had a summer storm in a while. A close crack of lightning, and I was like, yeah. So I rise up out of bed, and I walk by, and I have a mirror on my dresser, and I walk by, and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't look like me. It was pretty cool. I looked like this wild nature beast, beautiful and ferocious. It was pretty awesome. Anyways, I like to have fun. But so I just kind of skated by like this. Anyways, and then I went out my back door, and I have a private backyard, but I'm in a neighborhood. And I live near the Gulf of Mexico, so we get these beautiful summer storms, you know, that come up. But it hasn't rained here in 2 weeks, okay? Anyways, I'm outside, and I'm doing my dance. I dance for the weather. I chant, I sing. A lot of magical beings and Native Americans and a lot of other forms. It's hard to explain. A lot of me's out there and a lot of friends, and I'm just very open to all of it. So nothing scares me, guys. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, I created all this. Why would it scare me? You're me and I'm you. Why do you scare me? I mean, but people like to be scared in this game. I'm just not anymore. I mean, there was a period I went through. I'm also getting lost again. Let's go back to ayahuasca. So I go outside and I do that, and I forgot, before I got up out of bed, the dog, Inca the dog, I could see she was with Naya the whole time, because Naya was in deep and lost. And I could see the tip of her tail going around the edge of my bed. And then I said her name. I said Inca. And she jumped up on the bed with me, and she was kissing me and hugging me. And then she got down and she came to check on me. She's the sweetest dog ever. Very connected dog. I mean, dogs are amazing. Anyways, so Naya had on her side the moon. The moon actually arranged all this, because I was on my way out, and I could have went. But I've gone to the moon before. I don't know if you guys heard me talk, but I go to the moon with a dragon friend of mine, and we just sit on the moon and we watch stuff going on Earth. It's a thing. Anyways, but never has the moon come to me. And the moon came to me. And that meant it was a big deal. And it was a big deal for Naya. And in that moment, you know, I was Johnny on the spot. So what we all did is we did like a Coliseum type thing, where she was like, she talks about how she was down and she kept slipping. It was like that. It was like she was like a drowning person. And she was drowning, but then she'd come up and she'd get lost in the folds of it all. And we'd all be just like, you know, hovering over to see what's up, you know, where did she go? And then the moon would go over top, and a dragon would go over top, a golden blue, and then the silver moon. And then they would like look at us and go, oh, she's okay, and we're like, oh, okay. And then as this went on for a while, oh, by the way, a big storm came up. It was amazing, the storm. It was amazing. And it only came up right here, and it dissipated by the time it moved off towards, you know, 5 miles away to the Gulf. It was, I called it from right here out of the west. I mean, amazing. The moon and I mean, if the moon can't call a storm, and I don't know who can. Anyways, so this went on for a while, and we were all just like watching, like, what's she gonna do? She's got this. It's like watching the baby take first steps, or watching the kid ride the bike for the first time, and they don't know that you're not right behind them, holding them up, you know, and even when she'd fall, and she would, and at some point about 2 hours in, she was flipping us off. It was hilarious. She was so annoyed because she could not get up there with us. It was hilarious. And then finally, she talks about the part where she went and she met and made friends with her physical body. When that happened, I think I'd been in about 3.5 hours, 3 hours. That's when a voice, or it was the moon actually, came and said that you can go now if you want. You can go on out. Because I was tired too, y'all. It's a lot to keep all that energy up, to create such an awesome vortex of energy. And honestly, her and I created such an awesome vortex, and with all the awesome Native American friends and all the beautiful beings that came. I mean, I could talk for 10 hours and not name all the wonderful energy that came through here to really help push her through. And I got a lot of it out of it too, but that's just after we stopped, and after I was about an hour out, and then she got out, and then we kind of congregated, and then we were just like this. We were just like, almost like throwing up all this awesome energy, and she was just like, it was like light bulbs going off everywhere, and she was just like, it did look like fireworks going off all around her, and I was just like, yes, 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 you got it, yes. And she helped me with something the day before that was just deep, and I'll do a video about that another time, about living in the now, and how I was so close, and I just missed that one little thing. But I'll do a different video about that. Anyways, we talked for a bit, but when I came out, she was on the phone with Stephanie, because Stephanie was helping her in the physical. I couldn't be with her in the same, we weren't even in the same room at this point. I couldn't be with her in the same room. I just left her alone, and I went in my own room anyways. So when she called her daughter, I think she's about an hour and a half into it when she called her daughter, that was helping her. But that's when we were all watching her. And when right before she called her daughter is when the moon called me in. And it had me call in the storm. So the thing about the storm is very important, you guys, okay? What I'm going to say is this. Afterwards, when we were talking, and she was, I mean, she's going to do so many videos about all her revelations and all the awesome connections she made. But she was still on the phone with her daughter, and I walked through, and I could tell she was sitting up, and she was like, you know, here with me more. And I was like, hey, did you see me on the boat? And immediately she said, fuck you. And I laughed so hard. She's like, yeah, I saw you in the boat that was shaped like a swan. And I'm like, it was pretty, wasn't it? And then I said, did you see, because at the very front, before I was going to go out, I was actually painting in there. I was making flowers. I like to create flowers, new flowers and new colors. That's kind of one of my things. Anyways, and it was just the perfect place to do it. So that was before I was going to go out in the moon. I apologize. This video is all over the place, but you guys, it was worth every moment, and I am honored and grateful that I got to do it. I'd never done it before, and I got to do it with her. I mean, it was special, and yeah, I hope you guys can feel the energy, because I can still feel it, and it's days later. But there's an important thing about the storm. When we were outside, and I was telling her about when the moon came to me, and there was something about the moon that's personal that maybe she'll talk about. But when the moon came to me, and it said to bring the storm, I was bringing a thunderstorm. But we were calling in a friend of ours, little baby. He's a prism child named Storm. And when he showed up, bangers, man. That kid is magic. Yes. I love us all so much. And thank you to all the beings and to all you guys in this beautiful vibration. I love us all so much. See ya.